In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. Woe to every scorner and mocker.
Warning against dreadful end of those committing 3 obnoxious sins. This surah warns of the severe punishment on 3 grave sins, and then highlights the nature of that severe punishment. The 3 sins are backbiting, deriding, and selfish hoarding of wealth. The words hams and lambs are used in several senses. Most commentators agree that the word hams, from which is derived the word humazah, means to backbite, that is, to speak ill of a person behind his back. The word lambs, from which is derived the word lumazah, means to slander or to deride, that is, to speak ill of a person to his face. Both these sins are morally and socially obnoxious and deadly. The Quran and the Sunnah have sounded a stern warning against these sins. However, backbiting is, from one perspective, worse than slander. Backbiting is worse because the ill of a person is spoken behind his back. The victim is not present to defend himself and put an end to it. Thus the sin continues to be committed to a greater and increasing degree. Slander, on the other hand, though an obnoxious sin in itself, is relatively less in degree than backbiting, because the victim is present to defend himself and put an end to face-to-face insulting or fault-finding with him. From another perspective, slander is worse than backbiting, because to speak ill of a person to his face is tantamount to insulting him and denigrating him. This is morally and socially more harmful and hurting, and therefore its punishment is more dreadful. According to a hadith, the Holy Prophet has said, "The worst servants of Allah are those who speak ill of someone, creating enmity between friends and finding fault with innocent people."
Who collects wealth and continuously counts it.
The third evil quality denounced severely in this surah is greed, that is, the selfish hoarding of wealth, against which is the stern warning of the dreadful end of those who have passion for worldly riches. This verse, however, refers to the love of, and passion for, wealth which is accumulated and counted over and over again. Other verses and ahadith bear testimony to the fact that amassing of wealth in principle is not prohibited or sinful. Therefore, Surah Al-Humazah, Ayah 2 must be interpreted in the light of those verses and traditions. This verse purports to say that anyone who accumulates wealth and does not pay his obligatory dues, or has greed for wealth that leads him to pride and arrogance, or has love of wealth that engrosses him in the hoarding of wealth so profoundly that he forgets his religious obligations, his practice is condemned in the strongest terms, and a person attaching such profound love, greed, and passion for material riches will suffer eternal perdition, as described in the verses that follow.
He thinks that his wealth will make him immortal.
See Surah Al-Humazah, Ayah 2 for the Tafsir.
No, he will surely be thrown into the crusher.
See Surah Al-Humazah, Ayah 2 for the Tafsir.
And what can make you know what is the crusher?
See Surah Al-Humazah, Ayah 2 for the Tafsir.
It is the fire of Allah, eternally fueled.
See Surah Al-Humazah, Ayah 2 for the Tafsir.
Which mounts directed at the hearts.
Verse Surah Al-Humazah, Ayah 7, that will peep into the hearts. In other words, the fire of hell will reach their hearts. The basic property of fire is to burn every particle of the things that fall into it. When people are put into the hellfire, it will devour every limb and organ of the body, until it reaches their heart, but the person will not die. This characteristic of the hellfire is especially highlighted in the verse because the fire of this world kills the person even before reaching the heart. The fire of the hell, on the other hand, will reach the heart in the state of life, and man will experience the torture of the burning of the heart while alive.
Indeed, hellfire will be closed down upon them.
See Surah Al-Humazah, Ayah 7, for the Tafsir.
In extended columns.
See Surah Al-Humazah, Ayah 7, for the Tafsir.